Here are 3 real horror stories that remain a mystery. In October 2019, amateur photographer James Chen visited Echo Point Lookout in rural Oregon to capture the autumn foliage. The location was popular among hikers and photographers, known for its panoramic views of the valley below. What should have been a routine photography trip became one of Oregon's most baffling, unsolved cases. At 7:15 a.m., Chen signed the visitor log at the trailhead. His entry was cheerful. Perfect morning for shooting. Security footage from the parking area showed him checking his equipment and heading toward the trail. He was well prepared, wearing appropriate hiking gear, carrying water, and had informed his roommate of his plans. At 8:23 a.m., another hiker, Mary Rodriguez, passed Chen on the trail. She later told investigators he was setting up his tripod near the lookout point. "He seemed completely normal," she reported. "We chatted about the lighting conditions. He mentioned wanting to capture the perfect shot of the valley." At 9:47 a.m., 2 hikers heard what they described as a camera shutter sound, followed by static, like an old radio. When they reached the lookout point 3 minutes later, they found Chen's camera equipment still set up on the tripod, but no sign of the photographer. The camera revealed something inexplicable. The last photo taken showed the normal valley view, but with one disturbing detail: a perfect black circle in the center of the image, as if a hole had been punched through the photograph. Photography experts who examined the image confirmed it wasn't edited or manipulated. Police found Chen's car keys, wallet, and phone neatly placed beside the tripod. His car remained in the parking lot. Despite an extensive search involving helicopters, dogs, and over 100 volunteers, no trace of James Chen was ever found. The case took an even stranger turn 3 months later. A USB drive arrived at the local police station, postmarked from Chen's home address, which had been empty since his disappearance. It contained a single audio file, 43 seconds of what sound analysts identified as backwards echo phenomena, similar to what's heard in deep cave systems. The recording ended with Chen's voice saying clearly, "I understand now. They've always been here." Police investigation of Chen's home revealed his computer had been used 2 days after his disappearance, but security cameras showed no one entering or leaving the house. The case remains unsolved. In March 2016, during the demolition of the abandoned Whitaker house in suburban Connecticut, construction worker Mike Reeves made an unusual discovery. In a previously sealed section of the basement, he found a collection of VHS tapes neatly arranged on a metal shelf. The house had been empty since 2002, when the last owner, Eleanor Whitaker, moved to a nursing home where she passed away in 2003. The tapes were labeled by date, spanning from June 1997 to September 1997. What made them peculiar was that, according to all records, Eleanor Whitaker had been hospitalized during those exact months following a stroke. The house had been empty. When investigators played the tapes, they discovered something impossible. Each tape contained footage of the house's interior, recorded from a stationary position in various rooms. The footage showed normal, everyday scenes, except for one detail: all the clocks in the house ran backwards. The most disturbing tape, dated September 15, 1997, showed the living room for 6 hours. At the 5-hour mark, a figure appears sitting in Eleanor's favorite chair. The figure is clearly Eleanor Whitaker herself, looking healthy and much younger than she was in 1997. She speaks directly to the camera. "They let me come back to warn you. The gaps between moments, they're getting wider. Don't try to measure them." Police interviews with nursing home staff confirmed Eleanor Whitaker was bedridden during the entire period the tapes were recorded. Her hospital records showed she was in a near-comatose state. Yet forensic analysis of the tapes proved they were authentic, unedited recordings from 1997. The case took another turn when investigators discovered that every person who watched the complete set of tapes reported the same dream the following night. They were standing in the Whitaker house basement, watching Eleanor write something on the wall. When demolition crews removed the basement walls, they found writing hidden behind the drywall. In Eleanor's handwriting, it read, time isn't a line. It's a room, and we're losing the keys. The tapes were secured in a police evidence locker. 1 month later, during a routine inventory check, officers found all the tapes had degraded to static, except for the September 15th tape, which now showed a completely different room that didn't match any known room in the house. The case remains unexplained, and the tape's contents have never been fully analyzed due to their continued degradation. On January 15, 2018, train 242 departed from Montreal to Toronto at 11:42 p.m. Among the passengers was Dr. Sarah Chen, a quantum physicist returning from a conference. According to the conductor's log, she was the only passenger in car number 4. At 1:17 a.m., as the train passed through a remote stretch of track, Dr. Chen pulled the emergency signal. The train came to a stop, and conductor Thomas Martinez went to investigate. He found car 4 empty, with no sign of disturbance. Dr. Chen's laptop was still open on her table, her coat hung neatly on the hook, and her phone was in her seat. The train's security footage showed something bizarre. At exactly 1:16 a.m., Dr. Chen appeared to be typing on her laptop. She suddenly looked up as if startled. The video then shows her reaching for something off screen, and in the next frame, exactly 1 second later, she's gone. The footage shows no evidence of manipulation or editing. The investigation revealed several inexplicable details. Dr. Chen's laptop contained a half-written email that ended mid-sentence. "I've finally proven it." The calculations show that consciousness can exist in the space Beto. The laptop's internal clock had stopped at 1:16 a.m. and couldn't be restarted. More strange evidence emerged. The temperature sensor in car 4 recorded a drop from 70 degrees Fahrenheit to 32 degrees Fahrenheit in the second, before Dr. Chen vanished. The train's electrical system logged a power surge at the same moment, strong enough to affect the locomotive's systems, but somehow leaving all electronic devices in car 4 undamaged. A week after her disappearance, Dr. Chen's university office computer received an email from her account. The message contained only a string of numbers that, when decoded, spelled out, "The gaps are real. They're watching us pass through. Don't look for me." The most unsettling discovery came 3 months later. A routine maintenance check of car 4 found a message scratched into the window glass at her seat. Analysis confirmed it was written from the outside of the train, but the message was in Dr. Chen's handwriting. It read, "Time between time." I was wrong about the direction. Despite multiple investigations, including involvement from quantum physics researchers who worked with Dr. Chen, no explanation has been found for her disappearance. The case remains open, though inactive, with the Montreal Police Department. So, whether you're capturing the perfect shot at a lookout, uncovering forgotten tapes in a basement, or taking what should be an ordinary train ride, mysteries can happen anywhere. Just make sure the nightmares don't creep into your sleep.